But anyway guys, let's drive a little bit more, and I just want to soak in each and every movement of feeling like a millionaire.
Listen to this story, for it has a lot of fury. Who would have thought that a car named after Coal Scuttle would make life for other supercars such a struggle? The year 1913, when Lionel raced up the Aston Hill full steam, Robert Dampert said, "We may be men of gentle birth, but we need to make something that will have all the ladies flirt with the power of the Egyptian scarab beetle. A car befitting the most magnanimous regal. Aston Martin rocks the scene, be it Sylvester Stallone or David Beckham. There's something about it no one can fathom."
So guys, this car inspired me to write a song. Yes, that was written by me, but it was sung by artificial intelligence. Yes, that is the world we live in, but that does not mean that we only drive these kind of cars in virtual reality consoles or gaming consoles. I mean, these cars you select and you drive in games like Gran Turismo. This is one of the best cars to do Gran Turismo, and if you have to go long distances. But Aston Martin is saying that this is no longer just a GT car. It's actually the world's first super tourer. And you might ask, what is a super tourer? Well, that is what Aston Martin is going to define with this car. The categories have been always defined by iconic cars, and Aston Martin thinks they can define a new category with the David Brown 12 over here. Yes, that is what DB stands for. David Brown was an English industrialist who bought Aston Martin in 1947. And of course, if you own something, why not make something on your own name? And that is what he decided. The first DB was the DB2. And of course, this is the latest DB12 over here. Now, I had driven the DB11 a few years ago. Now, mind you, that DB11 had a long stint of 7 years before the DB12 came. And a lot of people were saying that this is not even a new DB because, you know, some changes from the front, from the back.
You know why James Bond chose this? It definitely pumped up his wrist. Aston Martin is the way to go if you want to make a statement that you made while laying low. This is not for flashy kids. The world's best gentlemen drive this on the grids. Today we have the DB12, the world's first super tourer off the shelf. Sir, David Brown must be proud. His legacy and name shouts aloud. XB, HP, and Motorgrapher drive this today. We live to die another day.
Essentially, this is a brand new car from the inside because it's got a brand new heart. Got a V8 instead of a V12, but in fact it makes more power than the outgoing DB11, which had V12 but it only produced 630 bhp. This one right here with a V8 and with the help of twin turbos manages to produce 670 horsepower and 800 newton meters of torque, which propels this, which is around 1788 kgs, from 0 to 100 in just 3.5 seconds.
Twin turbo at 4000 cc, 670 bhp, to 100 kilometers an hour. There is no shortage of power. Power.
You know, being a rear wheel drive, I think it could have been a little bit more faster if it was an all-wheel drive, but it would have made it heavier. Talking about weight, it is 100 kgs lesser than the DB11 because of course it lost a few cylinders, and of course they have made some weight gains, and actually this is not an insignificant weight gain considering what kind of car this is. Well, the magic is over here, and if you see right over here, they proudly say that it's hand built in Great Britain, and it is also inspected by a real human being, which in this case is Mr. Luke Wensley. So thank you so much, Luke, for ensuring that this car is not going to give up on us even on Indian roads. This is a new engine by Mercedes, and Mercedes not only makes the engines for Aston Martin, they also make the base electrical layers and a few other things. And of course, they also have a 2.9% stake in Aston Martin. And talking about that, let's talk about a little bit about the Aston Martin legacy, because it's as rich as the person who's owning it. You know, it has also been owned by Ford for 20 years, almost 2 decades, and that is something which not many people know. It has also passed a few hands. Right now it's mostly European. In fact, this is European because they have got a couple of Ferrari engineers, that is what I came to know, that who helped build the DB12. Then you have a German engine, and of course the car itself is British. Imagine having the logo of such kind of a car from an Egyptian scarab beetle. But these doors right over here, if you see, they open in a little upswept angle. So these doors are basically referred to as swan doors. The only thing is, if you want to actually afford this car, it will cost you just over 5 crore rupees in India. It's actually 4.59 ex-showroom crores, and you add insurance and all these kind of things, it will easily go above 5. So what kind of person can afford this? I mean, this is not a question of affordability, this is a question of, like, you play a video game, these kind of wealthy people, they choose which car to buy because money is not an object. Aston Martin, essentially, it represents an ideology, it extrapolates the person's personality, and that is why Aston Martins are revered so much, because they are for gentlemen. You know, they are for people like James Bond who can be superheroes without being awkward, without being someone who, you know, you can't be. So this is a James Bond car over here, and of course I don't know whether how much hand Aston Martin has in making James Bond or how much James Bond has in making what Aston Martin is today. All I can say is this car is one of the most desirable cars in the world. Moreover, the Super Tourer tag means that you can do miles and miles on this car. So guys, if you're planning for an Aston Martin, you better start saving, and not only start saving, like you basically, you know, like wealthy people say, don't save, earn more. Well, it's time to say goodbye to this beautiful car. I was almost a billionaire for a few hours with this car. I could feel all that aura around me as I drove this. I mean, this is not like a fancy car like the Lamborghinis. This car, if you own, people know that you mean business. Well, goodbye then. It's time for some English breakfast tea. So guys, I am literally sweating, my knuckles are white. This is what happens when you are responsible for a 5 crores car, which is not yours. And this is an amazing feeling. It's like, you know, driving such a car anywhere in the world, not only in India. This car is so precise, and you know what, I really feel that the tag that they're trying to give, the Super Tourer, this is worthy of that tag, because the kind of roads that we have been, good roads, bad roads, it's been able to take it head on. And I think you can go across continents, you can do all of India on this, should you want to do, after spending 5 crores, that is. Because of Indian import duties, this car is prohibitively expensive, but a person who can spend 2.5 crores, he can also spend 5 crores, right? For example, in Britain, this car is 188,000 pounds, which is around 2.1 crores. Here, it is a cool 4.59 crores ex-showroom. That is what they publicized as. I don't know why they left out that 1 lakh. This car is actually growing with us, growing with the whole world, the ecosystem of technology and everything. And talking about that, I'm really looking forward to the next Aston Martin, which is the Aston Martin Valhalla, which is going to be the PHEV, which is basically a hybrid electric vehicle. I'm not sure how that will pan out, but for Ferrari 296 it has really done excellent. It has done wonders. So I'm pretty sure that Valhalla is going to be one amazing supercar, and yeah, looking forward to that. But I'm not quite sure whether all electric future would be something that I would want to see, especially in cars like these, because the sound, it doesn't matter if the sound is enhanced through the speakers, is one of the main things that you get after you pay so much dough. But anyway guys, let's drive a little bit more, and I just want to soak in each and every movement of feeling like a billionaire.